Hi, Mama. Amy here. We're going to do a short full body yoga practice for pregnant mamas to be. I'm currently in my second trimester. This sequence is designed for all trimesters. What's most important to me is that your doctor has said it is okay for you to practice yoga and also that you really honor and listen to your body. All pregnancies are different, and what feels good for some people may not feel good for others. What I'm doing is following safety and precautions for the general public of pregnant women. But if you feel like something doesn't feel quite right, always come out of it. You can do another practice or take a little rest. Okay, so for today's practice, I have two blocks and I have a bolster. The bolster is not super necessary. Just if you happen to have one, we might use it for child's pose or for our shavasana. If you don't have a bolster, you can always use a firm pillow or a cushion. If you don't have anything like that, no worries. Okay. If you don't have blocks, you can use a textbook or a book, something that'll just help you to bring your earth a little bit up closer towards you. And if you don't have any of that, no worries, right? We're just working with what we got. So we're going to begin in a comfortable seat for you. So I'm going to sit crisscross. Take your time to get settled into your seat. Sitting up nice and tall. Relax the shoulders down and away. Close your eyes if that feels right for you. Feel the crown of the head lengthen up towards the sky so that the whole spine gets a little longer. Start to invite yourself into your practice, into your room. Really becoming present with this amount of time that you have dedicated to really nourish yourself and connect with your baby. Life can be really hectic and busy. Even when we're not doing much at all, we can be busy in the mind. So the intention is to just really take this time to connect to our breath, our bodies, our babies, and the really miraculous thing that our bodies are doing right now. We'll do a breathing practice. So you can keep your hands in your lap or at your knees, whichever is comfortable for you. Or if it does resonate today, you could take right hand to baby and left hand to heart. And just starting to breathe in and out through the nose just a little bit deeper. I'm going to introduce a breathing practice called Samavriti, or even breathing practice. A lot of mamas have used this in labor. It's really helpful to learn breathing practices before we go into labor so that the body remembers them and maybe can call upon them in the moment. If not, at least it is really rejuvenating and restoring for our nervous system to practice them leading up to childbirth. And so we're going to go in for 4 and out for 4. So inhaling for 4 counts and exhaling for 4 counts. So we're just looking to create even breaths in and out. If that count is too high, you can always go in for 3 and out for 3. And if it's too low, you can always go in for 5 and out for 5. I'll guide our count, but feel free to move at your very own pace. Let's exhale together. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling, belly, ribs, chest, expand. Exhaling, chest, ribs, belly slightly hugs in. Inhaling, belly, ribs, chest, expand. Exhaling, chest, ribs, belly hugs in. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4. Let's take about 3 more at your own pace. Good. When you release your next exhale, slowly release your hands back into your lap or onto your knees, or you lengthen through the spine. We're going to just open the neck and the shoulders a little bit. These areas can get kind of tight when we're carrying a baby. Our back can get a little rounded. And so we'll just open up that area a little bit. So let's inhale and sweep the arms all the way up overhead. You can look up towards the fingertips. And as you exhale, sweep your arms all the way down to your side and draw your chin to your chest. Just two more like that. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. You can look up. And then exhale, arms all the way down to your sides, chin to chest. Once more, inhale up. Reach and lengthen spine, and exhale, chin to chest. Good. We'll inhale, reach the arms all the way up. And then as you exhale, take your right hand down to the right side as you stretch your left arm up and over. So the side body area can also get really tight when we're carrying baby. And it also is a way to really open up the back because we can't twist the belly anymore, right? So stretching the side body can be really nice to create some space in the torso. If it does feel okay here, you're welcome to let your right ear drip to the shoulder. Continue to stretch your left fingertips up overhead, opening your heart and chest forwards. Good, another full breath there. And let's take the left hand to the right side of the head, using the hand to help you lift back up to neutral spine. And then the right fingertips will reach all the way to the right. Inhale, breath there. And as you exhale, draw your left ear to your left shoulder as you continue to reach out through the right fingertips, stretching the whole right side of the neck. Good, another full breath there. It's not unusual to feel this all the way into the forearm. Keep your head and neck as it is and just release your right fingertips to the floor, and that might get in a little deeper into the neck there. Let's take another breath or so. And then slowly lift your head back up, release your left hand to your side. Inhale, arms reach up, stretch up. Exhale, left hand down to the outside of the left hip, right arm up and over. Now you can bend this left elbow as much as you need to get into the side stretch that feels right for you. You can also walk your left fingertips a little bit further towards the left, and that would bring you deeper into the stretch. Find a gaze that feels accessible. Keep your heart and chest opening, forward belly, baby opening towards the front of the room. Maybe your left ear drifts to the shoulder again, if that feels okay. Take your time here to take full breaths in and out. We're giving baby lots of oxygen and also supporting our own energy and our relaxation response as we take smooth, slow breaths in and out. Good. Take your right hand to the left side of the head, using the hand and the side body to lift you up to seat. Sweep your left fingertips directly to the left. Inhale, really reach through those fingertips. And as you exhale, draw your right ear to your right shoulder, like that. Good. And then continuing to have this little push-pull action. So the left fingertips are reaching to the left, and the right ear is gently dripping towards the right shoulder. Good. And then keep your head and neck as long as it feels okay. Release your left fingertips to the floor. It doesn't matter where. Place the fingertips to the floor and take another couple of breaths here. Keep that left shoulder drawing down and away from the left ear. These muscles can get really tight once baby is born too, because we're really carrying and holding baby. So these stretches we can keep in mind for later as well. Good. Slowly lift your head back up. Release your right hand back down. One more stretch here. Interlace your hands, press them forward. Bring the arms up overhead. Inhale and really press the palms towards the sky. Then as you exhale, bend your left elbow up overhead and the right elbow towards the right side, opening through your chest. Next, inhale, arms back up, stretch up, reach up. Exhale, left elbow to your side, right arm up and over. You can gently press your head back into your forearm. Good. Inhaling Arms sweep up, exhaling to the other side. Like that. One more to each side. Inhale, stretch and reach. Exhale, right elbow bends up overhead, left elbow to the side. Inhale, reach, and exhale. Good. Inhale, we reach the arms up. Exhale, release your arms to your sides. And let's come to a tabletop. You can scooch over to one seat, come into your tabletop position on all fours. So your knees are hip distance and your wrists are below the shoulders. Now, this is the way that we'll start out, and you can always widen your stance if you need more space for pelvis and baby. So we'll tuck the toes as you inhale, a little arch of the spine, heart lifts, shoulders draw back. So we don't have to overstretch here. If it feels like you're overstretching in the belly, just make the movement a little bit smaller. When you're ready to exhale, tops of the feet press to the floor, spread the toenails across the earth, curl tailbone up and in, and gaze into your belly button, puff the upper back in. Inhaling, toes tuck, heart lifts, shoulders draw back. Good. Exhaling, rounding into your cat-cow. This is really lovely position to be in all throughout pregnancy. It helps baby get into the right position, and it also releases low back pressure. So you can feel free to create any other fluid movements here that feel good. Otherwise, we'll continue to move through cat and cow. Inhaling, tuck toes, heart lift, shoulders draw back. Exhaling, there's a rounding, the tailbone curls in, the armpits hollow out till we gaze to your belly button. Let's take 3 more. Awesome, Mama. Come back into your neutral spine. Maybe little hip wiggles just to release any tension in the back. Press into the top of the right foot or tuck the toes, whichever is more accessible for you. Extend the left leg up and back behind you. Reach out through that left heel and sweep the right arm forward. So there's still a way that we can work our core here. When we're carrying baby, we can work the transverse abdominals and the sides of the abs, the obliques. So we're going to inhale here, and as you exhale, send the left leg out to the left and the right arm to the right. Yeah, and then you'll inhale, bring it back to center. That's it. Exhale, left leg out to the left, squeeze that glute, right arm out to the right. Inhale, back to center. Keep your chest lifted. Exhale, send it out. These muscles are really helping us get strong for labor and birth. Exhale. Also keeping our core engaged without directly working the belly. Exhale out. Inhale in. One more here. Exhale, bring it out. And inhale in. Good. Slowly release your right hand and your left knee. Take little shifts, little wiggles, just to release any tension on that side. Step back up into your tabletop, and we'll go to the other side. Tuck toes to the left or pressing into the top of the left foot, whichever feels best for you. Sweep that right leg up and back. Reach the left arm forward, so opposite arm and leg. Inhale there. Exhale, right leg out to the right, left arm out to the left. Good. Inhale, bring it all the way back in. That's it. Exhale. Inhale, nice and slow, back in. Exhale, left arm out, right leg to the right. Squeeze that glute. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale out. Keep that chest lifted. I know that right arm's working too. Inhale back. Exhale. We got 2 more. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale out. Inhale. Last one. Exhale. Inhale, bring it back. And exhale, slowly release left hand and right knee. Good little shifts. Let's set up for a child's pose. So knees come nice and wide, almost as wide as the mat, or probably as wide as the mat. 2 big toes in towards each other. So the 2 big toes can touch, or they can almost touch. We'll come to child's pose. I just brought my bolster in here, just in case if you have it. Feel free to tuck it in towards your chest. And you can use that for your head, rest the cheek there, or for your forehead, whatever feels best. And again, if you don't have it or not too concerned about that, you can always bring your forehead to a block or right down to the floor. And giving enough space for baby, it might mean that you separate your legs a little bit further. Good. And let's take at least 3 full breaths in and out here. Good. Take your time to slowly lift yourself back up into tabletop position for our blocks if you have them. I'm going to start them at high level. This totally depends on how big you and baby are at this point of your pregnancy. So higher level will be more supportive if the belly is getting quite big. So we're going to set the left leg forward, but not directly between the blocks, more towards the left side of the block. And then if you don't have the blocks in that case, it'd be towards the left side of the mat. And then we'll press our hands to the top of the left thigh into a low lunge. So feel free to support the right knee with a blanket or double stack your mat. And then we'll inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, swivel the pinky fingers in towards you, open through your heart and chest. And just take a full breath here, getting that length through the spine. Good, breathing in. And then breathing out, frame that front foot. We're going to do a little Hanumanasana flow. So just the prenatal version is the left foot is out a little bit more towards the left, so we have more space for baby and we're not compressing there. So as you inhale, we're going to sink into the seat just to stretch through that back quad, lift your chest. And as you exhale, stretch that left leg long, pull the toes back to the knee. I love to do this little flow, inhaling, lift through the seat or sink through the seat and exhale, fold. I love to do this little flow when I feel that my legs get a little restless at night. So I'll try to do this before bed sometimes. And exhale, fold over the leg. So you're flowing like this with your own breath. Have the blocks or your hands to either side of that foot and any placement that feels accessible for you. Feel free to undulate the spine or shift the hips or wiggle the hips a little bit. We're looking for that freedom in the pelvis. Right? So inhaling, dropping into your seat and exhaling, fold over the leg. Right? Inhaling, lifting heart, and exhaling. Good. Let's take 2 more like that. And then settling into this half split pose, you can walk your hands or blocks in a little bit closer towards your body. You can always lower a medium level or low level if you need to get a little bit more stretch. Draw the left hip back and in and fold to any amount, right? So we don't want to compress the belly too much. You do what feels comfortable for you, right? We're listening to our bodies. They're super, super wise, especially right now. So let's take 3 full breaths here. Good. Go ahead and bend back into that left leg, frame the front foot, and lean to the right just a touch so you can bring that left leg right back down into tabletop. And then we'll lean to the left a touch, step the right foot forward. So the heel to the right foot towards the right block or towards the right side of the mat if you don't have the block there. We'll come up onto the right thigh, lift your heart and chest into Anjayasana low lunge, sweep the arms up overhead, swivel the pinky fingers in towards you, broaden through your collarbones, open through your heart and chest, and take another 2 breaths here. Find a gaze that feels good for you. Keep your legs active and strong. Inhale. And exhale, frame that front foot. I'm going to flip my blocks back to high level for the Hanumanasana flow. We're going to sink into the seat just enough to feel a stretch to that left quad there. As you inhale, the chest lifts or drawing the shoulders back. And then as you exhale, straighten your right leg and fold to any amount over this right leg. So we're leaning back just enough to get a right hamstring stretch. And then inhale, sinking into the seat. Exhale, straighten right leg, pull the right toes back to the knee. Let this be a little undulation of your spine, a little flow. Inhaling, your heart lifts, and exhaling, fold. Inhaling, dropping into seat, heart lifts, and your exhale, folding through. Just like that, breathing in and breathing out. Let's take 3 more here. in your own little undulation. You can always move your hips in one direction, right? Getting into that flow, fluidity. This is a wonderful laboring movement as well to prepare for labor. You can even do this with the foot up on a chair and maybe someone's spotting you. Good. And the next time where the right leg is long, we'll hold there for the half splits. I'm going to bring my blocks to medium level, so feel free to do the same. Keep those right toes really pulled back towards the knee and fold to any amount over this right leg. Good. Go ahead and bend back into that right leg, frame the front foot just so you can lean to the left and bring that right knee back to tabletop. Let's release the blocks off towards the side to the front of the mat if you got them going on there. Coming into downward facing dog, tucking the toes, extend your arms out long enough so that there's a lot of space in the spine. Lean briefly into the palms and send your hips to the sky for downward facing dog. Wrap the out upper arm bones in, let your head hang heavy. Now, depending on how early on you are in your pregnancy, you might be able to keep your downward dog exactly the same. But once you get a little bit bigger, it may feel nice to give more space for baby and even our legs and hips and hamstrings. So you can separate the feet a little bit wider than hip distance and have a little bend into your knees. Letting your head hang, relax the neck, spread fingers wide. You could be still here, or maybe you walk your dog, bending one leg, lengthen and press into opposite heel. And switching sides at your own pace. Good, and taking another breath or so there. And settling back into a neutral downward facing dog. Softly bend your knees. Keep the feet super wide. So if they aren't already, widen them out a little bit wider than hip distance. We're going to bend the knees and walk our feet towards our hands. Now, you might just have your hands to the floor, or depending on mama, depending on how you're feeling, you can have blocks in front so that you can journey your way with the blocks underneath your hands. Having ankles below your hips, take your hands to the shins, lift your heart and chest, breathe in. And as you breathe out, fold over the legs. Now, we're going to take a forward fold here, but for more space, let's bring the arms out long in front of you so that the arms can lengthen, the spine can lengthen, baby and belly has a little bit more space, but we're still getting quite a nice deep stretch in our hamstrings. I love this. I feel that it helps the traction of the low back, the upper back, middle back. You can bend the knees here to any amount. Let your head hang, and we'll breathe here. About 2 more full breaths. Good. Slowly walk your hands back to center and then sweep your fingertips to either side. So this is how we'll come up in prenatal yoga. Bend the knees like you're coming into a seat, a chair. Sweep your fingertips forward and up, and then you can lengthen into your legs as you straighten and lengthen into the spine. Take an inhale, open your chest and heart, and then exhale. Bring your hands to heart center. You might even take your hands to your baby, to your belly here, to either side. And let's take 2 breaths. Good. Go ahead and heel to the feet to about hip distance just so we feel steady in our stance. Take your hands to your hips and step your left leg all the way out long behind you, taking a wide-legged stance. So the legs are nice and wide. You might take your arms out towards either side just to check in that you have that prasarita stance. The wrists are just about above the ankles. It doesn't need to be perfect. In fact, as we get a little bit bigger, it might feel good to shorten our stance just to bring in more stability so that you don't feel wobbly, okay? So we'll turn the toes out towards either side, coming into our goddess squat. Bend into your legs, shift a little bit side to side, free up those toes. You might lift and lower them just as they're not tight and gripping. And then take your hands into goalpost arms. Spread the fingers wide, lift your chest. Good. So knees are drawing back, pelvis slightly forward, sinking as low as we comfortably can, right? If we're really not feeling it, to go a little bit up higher, right? Honor what feels good for you right now. We're going to flow. So inhale, lengthen your legs as your arms stretch up overhead. Exhale, goalpost the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades onto the back as you sink in as low as you comfortably can. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, drop in. Strong mamas. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. We'll take 3 more like that. Inhale, stretch and reach. And exhale. We're not bearing down on the exhale. We're actually slowly engaging the pelvic floor on the exhale. Inhale, we soften. Exhale, engage. Okay? If you're not sure what I'm talking about, don't worry about it too much. Just try not to bear down when you exhale into the squat. Okay? Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come into the squat. Hold here, 2 full breaths. Good. Take your hands to your hips and slowly straighten the legs once again. We're going to turn the left toes in, the right toes forward, coming into warrior two. So bending into that right leg, have your fingertips stretch forward and back into warrior two. Okay, so once again, we're bending as deep into that front leg as feels okay for us today. Lining up heel to arch. If you need a little bit more space for your pelvis, you can always send the right foot a little bit more towards the right. Just let the pelvis have lots of space. Good. Flip your right palm, inhale, send it forward, and exhale into a peaceful warrior, up and back. Light hand really light on that back leg. Another full breath. Inhale your way back to warrior two. Exhale, straighten your front leg into triangle stance. So if you need to shorten your stance, definitely do so. You don't want to feel wobbly here. You want to feel nice and sturdy. We'll inhale and sweep the fingertips all the way forward and down. Right hand down to the shin or maybe a block. I love it at high level. You can also have your hand at the shin or at the top of the thigh. Try not to rest on your knee. Left hand reaches up towards the sky, and then maybe you look up towards those fingertips. Okay, keep your chest and heart open, legs strong. 2 more breaths here. Good. We're going to slowly bend that right knee. Make your way back to warrior two. Straighten the leg. Send your toes forward. I'm going to reach for my block and bring it to the other side. So if you have one, definitely do the same. Make sure you're slowly bending towards the floor. Reach for your block and take it off towards the front of the left foot. We'll turn the left toes forward, right toes slightly in. Sweep the fingertips forward and back. Inhale and exhale. Bend into your left knee. Good. Remember to widen your stance if you need to. Flip your left palm, inhale, send it forward, exhale, peaceful warrior, up and back. Right hand slides down that right leg, left arm reaches up and over. Find a gaze that feels okay for your neck and your balance. Inhale back to warrior two, straighten your front leg, heel toe that back foot in an inch or so closer if that supports you, into triangle. Breathing in, reach fingertips all the way forward and down. Left hand can go to a block or the shin or the left thigh. Right arm reaches up to the sky. You can even have your left hand at the left hip, right? Taking care of however you need to be right now in your body as it is, honoring that. Good. And then we'll bend that left leg, slowly come back. You can have your hands at your hips, come back to warrior two, turn the toes forward. We'll heel toe the feet back into about hip distance. Let's bend the knees, reach for that block, and bring it back with us towards the top of the mat. Bend the knees again and release it down. Good. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. As you exhale, bend the knees to fold forward, reaching for the floor or the blocks. Straighten the legs, widen your stance as much as you need to for baby and belly. Let your head hang for just a casual forward fold here. 1 breath. Good. Hands to either side of your feet or with blocks. Bend your knees, step one leg back, doesn't matter which, and then the other leg back, coming back into your tabletop position. We'll slowly sit back onto your heels. Shift your hips to one side and swing the legs around. We're going to take 2 forward folds here. Actually, 3 forward folds here. The first one being butterflies, a nice open hip stretch, really opens the back and the neck, things that can get tight when we're carrying baby. And it also helps to open up the pelvis in a way that isn't too much of a stretch. So we'll have the hands to the ankles or interlace around your toes, whichever feels more comfortable. Shift your seat a little bit side to side. Breathe in, create length through the spine, and breathe out, fold forward to any amount. Now, if baby starts to feel compressed, you don't have to go very far. You can just let your chin tuck towards your chest and lean forward with a long spine, and let the knees draw down towards the floor. Otherwise, you're welcome to round the upper back as much as feels comfortable. Let your gaze fall in towards belly. Elbows can stay inside the body, or they can even come to the outside of the shins if that's better for space-wise. Okay, slowly we'll lift back up to a long spine. Give yourself a moment, and then we'll take the legs out long for straddle pose or Upavishta Konasana. Flex the toes back towards the knees. Don't overstretch. When we're stretching for prenatal yoga, we want to go to about 80% of our stretch, so no need to overstretch. There are ligaments that are opening up here, so we don't need to get them too open. So honoring what feels right for you. Flexing the toes back towards the knees. Take your left hand to the outside of the left leg and sweep that right arm up and over. Just one more side bend here on each side. Full breath. And if it feels okay, use your obliques to inhale, lift you back up to center, and then exhale, come over to the right side. I'm releasing my forearm to the floor. You could just have your palm down or your forearm, whatever feels good. Good. Once again, inhale using the side body, lift us up, and then exhale, release your hands out in front. And so if this is quite enough of a stretch for you, you can even have your knees pretty bent here, working on opening the hips in the back, and let your chin tuck towards your chest. But it's up to you. If you feel that it is okay for you to go a little bit deeper, you can walk your hands out a little longer. Maybe you bring your forearms down to the floor or blocks. Your head can hang or rest on a block or even onto your palms, 1 or 2. We'll take at least 3 to 4 breaths here. Nice slow exhales. Good, and then we'll slowly lift up just enough, using our hands to support you to walk your way back up to long spine. Bend your knees if they're not already. Draw the legs in together, and then we're going to take the legs out in front for Paschimottanasana, prenatal version. Usually the legs and ankles are together. If you're still first trimester and that still feels okay, you're welcome to keep that. Otherwise, we'll separate the legs about hip distance or even as wide as the mat, depending on how big belly is right now. And we'll pull the toes back towards the knees, scoot your seat a little bit side to side, inhale, reach your arms up, and exhale, fold forward. Now, if I'm tight in my hamstrings or back, it would be best to bend the knees quite a bit here, and then you can reach for shins or keep your hands towards either side of your legs or even your toes. And again, no need to overstretch, especially now is the time to just find some nourishment and enjoyment in our bodies. Let your head and neck relax if that's okay. If it doesn't feel good, you can keep your gaze slightly lifted, even if the eyes are closed. One more breath. And we'll slowly lift ourselves up and make our way into a Shavasana. So you can lay flat on your back if you're first trimester and that still feels all right. Second trimester, you'll definitely want an incline of some sort. So that's why I recommended the pillow, cushion, or bolster. If you don't have any of that, and if you're in your third trimester, you'll lay onto your left side. So the left side is always recommended because the vagus nerve is on the right side, and so laying on the left side just helps us to avoid any compression there. And you can use your arm like a pillow or a blanket or any other props that you have. Fold your knees in and let your right hand go wherever it's comfortable. Maybe it's at baby or at your hips. Right, otherwise you can lay back onto a bolster. I'm going to take a little butterfly shape here. So soles of the feet together, knees out, and I would just reach for my blocks to bring them to the outside of the knees. You're welcome to do that too, or you can just have your knees releasing to the floor. Feel free to take a couple of smooth breaths in and out here. And then just allow your breath to be unchanged, soaking up this time that you have dedicated to nourishing yourself, your body, your mind, and your baby. So I'll let the video stop here. But if you're home, right, and you have the time, rest for as long as you'd like. Coming up really slow and even taking time to pause once you come to sit.